Look, shawty, it's a
Yeah.
look, shawty, it's a bomb in the building. When I link with you, nothing else matters. What you trying to do? I got me some time set aside for you. It's been a little.
Is Arizona's lack of recognition between good publicity and bad publicity causing damage to artists' potential growth?
All right. So, this is one. It's kind of tricky. We'll start here. But I'm trying to figure out whether I should take it from the media side first or the artist side first. Let's do media first. All right. Media. Listen, I know that recently there's been this huge uptake in like these platforms popping out of nowhere. And we're still not covering music, but you're covering something. So, all right, it's a start, whatever. But y'all do know that when y'all are covering these individuals, you want it to be positive. You want it to be good. You want it to be just looked upon and perceived as something, cool, hip, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I mean? But some of the shit that y'all are putting out about these folks, it's coming off cheesy and it's coming off straight up goofy, yo. So, like I said, now we're going to talk about 602 Byron. Listen, brother, I don't know you. I know nothing about you, okay? I've heard your name before, which is why I'm addressing you, okay? Now, listen, I know a lot of people will talk about that you're like some garbage rapper. I'm not going to go there. I don't know none of that. I'm sure I can find a decent song or two or whatever. I don't know. All right, so unfortunately, right now, we're not talking about music. I would love to talk about music, but this ain't what that is, all right? On my timeline, I am seeing a ton of shit regarding you. Now, I don't follow you, so it's these music media pages that are covering you, all right? Which you want them to do that, all right? But we got to talk about this fight, bro. We got to talk about what the fuck is going on here. And listen, I put a comment and, like, people are starting to take notice. And, like, listen, I wasn't trying to rain on your parade, brother. I was just asking a valid question that other folks are kind of, like, they're looking a little funny at it. You know what I mean? Sometimes people forget that when you're inside Arizona, when you're inside a circle, any type of circle, your vantage is a little bit skewed. Your perception of the situation is a little bit different than the people that are able to step away and look at it, brother. Listen, based on everything I'm seeing about this fight, it looks like you're fighting over pussy, bro. I don't know if any of your people have told you that, but that's what it looks like. It looks like you are ready to throw dukes over some gash. And, like, ladies, like, turn your ears off for a second. This is guy talk. Y'all not even supposed to hear this part of the conversation. All right, brother, we can't be out here fighting over pussy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got a name. I don't know nothing about the other dude, but, like, people know Byron, all right? Brother, what is going on here? Like, if you don't like the dude, that's one thing. Listen, y'all can set up your boxing match. You can, you know what I mean? It seems like a lot of y'all want to be a part of that. You want to be a character in the No Jumper verse. Like, that's fine. If that's what you want to do, cool. I wouldn't recommend it. I think it's a little bit goofy. I don't think y'all understand how that kind of business runs. There's one guy at the top that looks good, and everybody else just looks like playthings that you pull out the toy box and put back in when you're done with them. All right? But this fight, man. Every time that I'm seeing this shit advertised, a clip of somebody talking about it, it's all revolving around a chick. Why is that? It's even on the fucking flyer, dude. This person's ex and this person's boyfriend. Like, do you understand? It looks like you're tender. It looks like you're fighting. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know why y'all got beef. I don't really fucking care. I'm just letting you know that, like, from the outside looking in, it looks like two dudes fighting over vagina. And it's pretty sad looking at it. And I would hope that there would be people in AZ that would tell you this, that would be like, hey, brother, this ain't the way. Like, this ain't it. If y'all want to fight, that's fine. Listen, if y'all want to get into it and a girl be like a side note in it, I'm totally okay with that. But y'all have got that shit plastered on the flyer. And it's just, dude, it's bad. It looks lame, dog. I got to keep it a buck with you. It ain't a good look. It ain't striking fear in the heart of nobody. It just comes across as the tender dude that, you know what I mean, wants to throw bows and be, you know what I mean, I don't know, a third string on some fight card. Listen, how you run your business is how you run your business. I'm just telling you that, like I said, certain people would pick that shit apart, bro. They would absolutely have a field day with the fact. I mean, they would paint you out to be the tenderest motherfucker on the planet. I'm just letting you know. Like, it's dog eat dog outside, man. They not pulling no punches. And if you give them any little crumb of something that they can fucking hold against you, they'll do that. And listen, I know you done been into some scrapes before. And I'm talking about music at this point. I don't give a fuck about what y'all got going on in your personal life. None of that. I understand that it says here something, but you got into what does it say? Rapper 602 Byron reveals video of AZ rapper COE Yante twerking in a thong. Yo, is this real? Hey Cornelius, when did you get this? No way. Oh my. All right. Well, listen, you're not getting credit for this. If this is true, you're not getting credit for this. Okay. If you, yeah. Yeah, I tell you, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't know, bro. Anyway, Byron, if you had a video of this dude doing that was a wash. Like, come on now, you walked into the fight with it rigged. I mean, you basically had the dude's people tied up in the car out back. Like, you knew exactly how it was gonna go down. So you're not getting credit for that. All right. So my thing is, are we trying to do the music thing? All right, because it's a possibility. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't think you're trash. I don't. I think that there's a skill set in there somewhere that you can use to make something good. Now, I'm not saying that anyone wants to sit down and listen to an entire project of fucking, 602 Byron, but, I have been raised on working with scraps, dude. I've had to take the bottom of the barrel fucking, parts from the junkyard and try to make something fantastic, and I've gotten really fucking good at it, all right? So I don't judge people by their skill set or lack thereof, but, like, if you want to be a rapper, you got to quit doing the goofy shit, and this fight over a bitch is fucking goofy extreme, okay? Extremely goofy movie. That's what this is, all right? So I just want to tell that to you. And then media, stop putting out shit on these guys that I know y'all fuck with. Y'all fuck with these people. Like, y'all are doing this to kind of give them some exposure, to give them a look, get it out there. But the shit that you're putting out there is coming across as not the best, bro. Not the best. And then the other thing, like I said, man, just be cautious of trying to run this whole no jumper play, because like y'all are running it as if y'all are the pawns on the chessboard and not the guy running the game. Okay. And you want to be the guy running the game, not, the pieces that are expendable in the long run. All right. Cool. All right, Cornelius, let's keep rolling.
Yes, sir. Does Arizona have a perception problem, with a large majority of listeners finding music in the state to be boring?
All right. Look, we're going to do some name dropping on this episode just because that's what's on the docket today. So, and like I said, if anybody has a problem with anything I'm saying, I need a dancing date Friday night. What's up? It's simple as that. All right. But look, J Waves, brother, I need you to put your helmet on. All right. Like, you'll be all right. I promise. All right. But so after I said what I said in the last episode about, somebody needed to explain to you why you weren't on the list, somebody got smart and said, well, Adam, if you know so much, why don't you do it? So I'm going to do it. All right, look, man. Your issue is not skill. Bro, you're dope. You can rap. Like, that ain't your problem. That's not what is causing your shit to not connect and have you, asking, why am I not getting whatever net recognition you think you should be getting. And the problem that you have is a much bigger problem. It ain't just you. It's a bunch of artists in Arizona that have this same affliction, and we're going to get to the bottom of it right now, okay? So look, can somebody explain to me what's up with artists in Arizona and their love of these like classical high fancy type beats? Because I don't understand it. Like, maybe somebody hasn't explained to y'all, like, they're cool, like, they're dope in small doses. 1 or 2 songs, that's it. But you don't want a whole project of that shit. You do not want a whole album of that shit. Nobody's listening to a whole album of lullabies, because that's what it is. It's boring as fuck to the average fan. I'm just letting you know. Like, the average listeners, it's like, where's the jams? Where's the bass? Where's the shit that makes me move? Like, that's what music is supposed to do. Give you a feeling, make you move. And like I said, that classical shit definitely gives you a feeling. It gives you that, you know what I mean? Mr. Got Rocks, Monopoly Man, I got money, I can, you know what I mean? I get it. But the problem is, after about 2, maybe 3 songs of that, like, the feeling fades off, because you got to understand, most of these people that are like checking for your music right now, they don't have all that money. You know what I mean? And for one, they don't think that you got all that money neither. Like, most of these people that are seeing y'all are shooting these videos to go with these like super duper high fancy fucking songs, and it's cool, but people are realizing, it's you and your mans at some overpriced restaurant drinking a bunch of shit that you probably can't even spell. I mean, it looks like you're on a date with your boyfriend. And like I said, this ain't me saying it. I'm just giving you, once again, just like the last segment, that's giving you a bird's eye view of what people are seeing when y'all are doing this shit, dog. Like, it's not that the fancy shit is bad. It's just that, dog, it's too much. Like, you can only go through 2-3 songs of that before you're bored out of your skull. Like, nobody wants to sit there and fucking be lulled to sleep, with you talking about champagne and caviar on some fucking, snail pace beat for fucking, 45 minutes. Like, nobody wants to do that. Like, who's signing up for that? You know what I mean? And I get it. When we're recording these songs, like, at least for me anyway, the songs in the sessions are separate, you know what I mean? So we're doing one song this day, one song that day, you know what I mean? So we're getting that feeling in different intervals, and so it doesn't feel like it doesn't. We don't get the boring, the kind of the sleepy vibes, the this again kind of feeling. But when you put it all together, which is what you should be doing when you're getting to the end of your mastering phase, is like, hey man, these are the groups of songs that I have. How are they sounding together? How are they sounding from top to bottom? And you can't tell me that you can't go through some of your recent shit and be like, yeah, I can see how they could get bored halfway through it. And listen, this is just me keeping it a buck. Yo, the bomber ain't fucking biting his tongue for no one. This is why my sessions and studios are very, very small, okay? Because Adam is not pulling no punching and not missing no words. I want the best out of everyone. I want everybody to succeed. But the problem is that, a lot of these people, they get tender. They get, they get in their feelings. They get a little butthurt when somebody not doesn't agree with them, but just like tells them something that maybe they aren't aware of, you know what I mean? And like I said, we're sensitive about our shit. I get it, you know what I mean? So I made all these songs, they're going on the album. Yeah, cool, but it's like a whole album of that shit. Like, what's that thing they used to call J. Cole, the Sleep King, the Nap King? Those are the vibes, yo. Like, when you put it all together, that's the monster you done made. And is that what it was supposed to be? And like I said, you're not the only person, dude. There is a lot of artists that love putting out that shit, and then they wonder why it don't hit. Well, it don't hit because you got to understand, a lot of the people that you're feeding your music to, I don't know, make what? $16 an hour or some shit like that? Like, they not going to understand your fucking champagne caviar talk. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's not versed in that area. You know what I mean? And listen, I get it. Dude, I love that shit. Yes, I enjoy some fucking, fancy shit from time to time. But like I said, it's not something that is a daily regimen. And it's definitely not something that I want to feed to potential listeners fucking on a regular basis, because it's going to get old to them really fast. You know what I mean? The people that fuck with you in the beginning, that guy when you were just doing it for the love of, you always got to make sure that you have some of that in your projects. And I'm talking about music. When you're building these bodies of work, you got to make sure you're giving people different looks and different tastes. You know what I mean? And even if you want to do an album based around all of that fancy shit, well, how come there wasn't a conversation in that studio? Yo, we need something that's way more upbeat. Something that, how can we, because that's when the genius comes in. That's when that's when you know who you working with, dog. Because somebody's going to be like, yo, man, we got to do this. And then everybody in the studio goes, well, we don't know how to do this. We're going to create it. That's kind of how it works. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, the snores vest, that nobody wants to go to Snoozeville listening to music. And that's why people ain't connecting. And that's why people just looked over for these lists. And like, dude, I feel like you've been in it too long to care so much about these lists, bro. Like, please don't tell me that you're fucking crying yourself to sleep over these lists. Like, we've been through this. These lists don't mean shit because most of these people ain't listening to the music. They're not listening to the music. They can't tell you why you ain't on a list other than, oh, I forgot you. I hear that a lot. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, okay, whatever. But, dude, don't get so wrapped up on it. Yo, that's the other thing, because this is a rumor been going around, and I want to ask if this is true, because like I said, you are not the only person that has this issue. I bet not find out that y'all are, went through this phase of making all this fancy, you know what I mean, classical, just, boring shit because y'all thought Rick Ross was coming to town. It was gonna scoop y'all up and put some money in your pocket. Because I know, like I said, he loves all that type of shit. And I hope y'all wasn't trying to impress him. And that's why we just got gobs and gobs and gobs of this shit. Like, it's like a product that you got that you obviously can't, now you can't sell it. And you got fucking a stockpile of that shit. Like, but we shouldn't be making music to try to impress one individual person. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that kind of got under my skin when I heard that. It's like, oh man, yeah, I think Arizona thought that, old Ricky was going to come in and like them for their fancy shit. And I'm like, no way. So like I said, I don't know. I'm asking, and that better not be the case. You know what I mean? Because that ain't it, man. So like, this is for everybody, for artists in Arizona. Listen, the fancy shit is cool. Like, we've all done it once or twice. Like, there's a time and a place for it. But like, you're going to be doing something special if you're able to put out an entire project full of lullabies, because at the end of the day, that's what happens once you get fucking 2-3 songs in, maybe 4. So you're gonna have to I don't know, lock in with a producer, or I just like to switch it up, man. I don't like to have the same exact sound or style throughout a collection anyway. I just, because once again, I am able to, that's one thing that makes I guess me unique, is I'm able to listen to my shit kind of out of body. You know what I mean? It's like, Adam, don't be attached to this. Step away and listen to it as if it was your first time hearing it, which I know is super rare. But like I said, that comes from, I had an OG one time that told me, hey, do not get attached to any one song. Any one song. It does not matter what the song is, how great you feel like the song is. Do not get attached to it. When that song's done, you need to move on, because people get trapped in a sound, in a style, and that's how you end up with a project full of lullabies. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Like I said, I hope that helped. You can fucking take the info or not. It couldn't give two shits about it, brother. But there it is.
Well said, sir. Now, speak a little bit about your new song, Cooktop, featuring Virginia artist J Smoove.
Yeah, man. So look, me and J Smoove, man, we just released a new song. It's called Cooktop. We just wanted to go back to our roots, man. Like I said, I have such fond memories of my early years, and I remember the night when I was online, and Smoove sent me a message. We played ball together, and he was like, "Hey, man, I heard some of your music. You're dope. Let's work. Let's do something." And so, like I said, I started going over there to hang out with him. OV, you know what I mean? And got to meet a lot of people out there with him. That dude's a monster in the studio. The way he works was always right up my alley. We had just amazing chemistry. We did a lot of great stuff. And in fact, I know for a fact we've got 2 lost mixtapes, full blown, like 15, 16 tracks of just heat. Somewhere we got to find those, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, just the way we worked, we did so much stuff, out in Virginia. And dude, every time we link up, it's something special, you know what I mean? Just the vibe, the feeling, and out here in Arizona, a lot of the music that's been coming out this year has been, I don't know how to describe. I don't know how to describe. I don't want to say it's not hard. I don't want to say that it's. But everybody's been strategic with what they've dropped. And one thing I've noticed is that there hasn't been the one song that's like, "Yo, this shit is tough. Like this shit is hard." You know what I mean? And so, like I said, that's why me and Smoove just went back to basics with it. Like, yo, remember when we were, you know what I mean, at the spot? We actually built a shed in the backyard, like a big, it's damn near a fucking garage. I mean, second house. And that was our studio. Built a soundproof booth. Had pool tables in there. Like, it was the hangout spot. You know what I mean? But we just wanted to take it back to that. You know what I mean? Yo, remember when fucking we didn't have nothing, that we were just we just loved rapping, listening to music, like just doing shit just for the love of the game. and that describes this song, you know. And also, it's a good way to just say my piece about where I'm at now. You know, we're just where I'm at in the grand scheme of things. To where, yo, we make hits. Like we do this thing. You know what I mean? It's Bob General over here. Like it's. I mean, they're coming out at a rapid pace. But like I said, we just don't want to throw you know, gems every week or so. Like I did that in the past. You know, I put out I think I did a song. I've done a song a month for like 3 years or something like that. And now we're just going to slow down a tad bit, you know what I mean? Just because I'm doing so much more. There's so many other avenues that I'm having to put time into, other businesses, other ventures, like trying new things, meeting new people. But like I said, this Cooktop song with J Smoove it's just hard, man. It's hard. Like I said, I'll put it up against anything else that has dropped this year in 2026 as far as Arizona. Yeah, we're talking our shit. Like, I'm not pulling no punches. Like, I'm just giving it to him. Like, I mean, dude, I am who I am. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a person in music, really, that I feel uncomfortable having my music sat next to, or just me being next to in the same room as. You know what I mean? But like I said, we put that out recently, and I'm so glad we did. I hope everybody checks it out. I hope everybody enjoys it. The song's called Cooktop. Like I said, it's out everywhere. Me and J Smoove. And yeah, man, you know, let's whip it up. All right, Cornelius. That should be enough for tonight, all right?
I agree, sir. Great job.